Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, whatever time it is where you are watching this. This is the first video in a series that I'm just starting. I gotta credit this, the main idea, to my bestie, Rock That Body. And I'm gonna take it a step further. This is the first video in a whole series. Hopefully I'll have hundreds of videos in this playlist eventually, video reactions where I take a true crime case that someone else is covering and I throw cards on it. Okay, in other words, what are they saying versus what my cards are saying, etc. And today, for the next 3 videos in this series, is going to be a series from Harsh Reality. Hello, Harsh, if you happen to watch this. He's covering like the history and the darker side of things. The cloud that's over Moscow, Idaho. The history and... oh my God. I am going to reference in the comments or in the description, one of the two, the actual video that this one is stemming from. So let's get started. Grab your coffee. You're probably going to need it for this. Okay? Oh my God. Whew. I tell you what. Moscow, Idaho, they like to claim their fame that they haven't had a horrendous murder or unaliving whatever crime since like 2015. You know. Boy, are they lying. Okay? Because shit has happened that they just didn't report. Okay? Surprise, surprise, right? Okay, you're going to say, but Jen, it happens all over the country. Seems to happen all the time in Idaho. Okay. We are going to cover a story. I'm not going to give you all the meat and potatoes as far as the story itself. I'll leave that up to Harsh. Okay? But just so that you understand what I'm talking about, there was a series of issues of a student. There might have been a couple students that were SA, S, assault by fellow student, aka football team, yada yada yada. Police report was not filed. The student was not removed from the university, either the perp. And the victim was pretty much told, well, if you can't face the perpetrator, go to another campus. Move out of town. Or, sit in the back of the room of the class. Basically, it's your problem, not ours. And this is the clout that this university has. Why? It's protecting their own. Protecting their prized athletes, important people. And Idaho would like to go on to say, oh, our problems came from Washington. Those people of Washington came here and caused problems here. No, that's not true. It's not how it went down. Again, watch Harsh's video. But I want to dig into this. Why did this happen? Now, there was some kind of settlement undisclosed, the amount, you know, of a lawsuit that the victim had filed against the university and stuff. And there's things here about the Idaho University having more power over anybody else, governing LE, you know. Very sus. So there's a boom for you as far as cover-ups, right? Let's dig into this shit. Get through as much of this without interruptions as I can till somebody goes to work. Okay. Let's start off. I don't remember the name of this deck. It's that anime series. I know there's one Shadow and Light. This might be the Shadow and Light. I can't remember. Oh, okay. There we got the Storm Angel. Storms seem to follow Moscow, Idaho. It is a number 35. 35 reduces to an 8. 8 is the number of self, but it's also the number of communications and movement and change. And, you know, this cloud goes deep, right? But this is collision of beliefs, styles, attitudes, and energies. So there's a collision here. This is, you know, of belief systems. I always look at the high up people. When I get the Hierophant card, it reminds me of people in high authority. People who are above the law, right? And that's what I'm getting here. There's all these collisions, there's all these storms that go around that get swept under the carpet. Two Little Witches, magical space, clearing time. Magical space, that's like, oh my God. What jumps out in this card, and this is a number 30. Black hats. Black hats. I don't need to say any more about that card. And there's black hats in... Oh, there's two of them. This one was kind of hiding behind this one. The three witchy sisters, the power of 3. Makes me go back to the Idaho 4 there. It's a number 9. It's almost done wrapping things up. You know, there's people, different parties, I think, wrapping things up over there with this Idaho 4. You know, and there's the black hats are definitely involved. And then we have the center one in stripes. It makes me think of, you know, we've got these entities in power. And we have somebody who's the fall guy, Brian Koberger, caught in the middle. Right? Number 40. This is the Angel of Time. Working too hard. We've got elements of time in here. And it is talking to me about, you know, of this is something that's been with Idaho. It didn't start with the Idaho 4. And, I mean, look at all these black hats. Just between these two cards. That's the dark cloud over the city. It's not the citizens of Moscow, Idaho. It's not the students per se of the university. It's the energy, and it's people who in power who are manipulating that. I keep looking over because I have to keep watching the time. Can't look at my camera for time because I'm using, or my phone, because I'm using the phone camera on there. So, I have to look over my Alexa. I can't say her name. Maybe I should. And see how many of your guys' devices out there go off. Wouldn't that be a hoot? One of these days I'm going to do that. Okay. Okay, what else we got on this? Spirit box. 3D communication voices. The voices. Something about the voice and the spirit of this town. And the victims. There have been other murders, and wait till you hear about those ones in upcoming videos. Make sure you are subscribed. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. This is for entertainment purposes only, not based on fact, not solely. Just a few facts that I threw out there. But my reading is not based on fact. It is my opinion. I'm just a card reader. Incubus, dark male energy. The voice of a dark male energy that people that they listen to. That is the leader. That is who is under command. And if you look, almost like a mask, a fake face. You know, it is the voice that you can't put a face to. But there are clues. There are signs. There's plenty of evidence if we dig for it. Ghost hunter searching, looking more about evidence. So, what I could say is a few of us here on YouTube, we're definitely digging on a quest for evidence and searching for truth. Sweet on you, kind. It almost reminds me, now when I read oracle cards, I take them with a grain of salt, and I look at them and I see what comes intuitively. Has nothing to do with sweet on you. This has everything to do with the apples. Has everything to do with Washington apples. So this is coming to me as there could be some truth to Washington. This is kind of telling me that there are connections to Washington in Moscow, Idaho. Some power connections. Little bit sus. I'd say so. So this is kind of painting a picture here of the incredible power that's in that town. It kind of reminds me of, you know, Hollywood, where you see those movies. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Maybe you can. You could comment below what maybe you think of. But the scenario of the clout of secrecy, their own little clubs, all one big happy family. You know, everybody knows everybody in that town, and everybody knows when an outsider comes in. And outsiders are not welcome you know, and it's an outsider comes in for a visit or wants to move there, and you could feel the tension and that newcomer's heart pounding in their chest, the, the sense of uneasiness and tension and even fear, you know, and to the point that, you know, nobody's kind, or there's a fake kindness when the apple's really poisonous. Because they're trying to get rid of the outsiders, they're trying to get the outsiders to leave. Yeah, name a movie what that feels like, you know. And that's kind of what I feel about Idaho. Now, next to the students, yeah, it's a college town, but there's some people in there that they don't want any outsiders snooping around their town. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like their own governing body. It's like segregating ourselves from the rest of the state or the rest of the country. It's like we make our own rules. We don't live by anybody else's rules but Moscow's rules. That's the energy that I feel and I pick up. Okay. So, I don't want to make these videos too long, but we're going to dig in. Nine of Cups. You know, they get what they want. They always get what they want. Outwardly appearing generous. But this is saying their wish is to... Oh, and all the indulging. Bam! Boom! The indulgence, substances, the partying. What happened... You remember, you know that old saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? What happens in Moscow stays in Moscow. Okay? What happens behind closed doors, the higher ups, the rituals, or whatever it is. But we have Nine of Cups and Two of Swords. We turn a blind eye to all the indulging. drugs, alcohol, and everything that overindulgence can encompass. Boom. What influences this type of attitude? Somebody shows up in the Idaho 4 all the time, but a woman in power, a feminine power. This could be the spouse, wife, girlfriend of somebody in power. The Queen of Wands. Okay. Interesting. I am in control. My family is in control. That's interesting. How did this place get this way with Seven of Wands? This is a block. I was saying blocking outsiders. This is blockage of truth. This place definitely and this is not supposed to be about the Idaho 4. This is just about the history of the place, the darkness, the cloud that is over this place. This could be also, it's not the woman in power. It's just someone that feels like she's in power who has influenced this. It could also be somebody in history. Just saying. Could involve that student. But I'm feeling more like a woman in power. A feminine in power. Who stops at nothing to get what she wants. I get her almost in every Idaho 4 reading. Almost every single one. Past is the Page of Swords. A lot of spying. A lot of spying. It's like, we're watching you. Okay? And this is why they don't like outsiders. They don't like anybody to coming in and digging into their business because they feel that they're their own governing body. This is our little part of the world. Any governing body on the outside or any investigation or anything is not welcome. They're not welcome. And this kind of makes me think, and this is another feminine in this. There's a feminine in here, right? Ready to do battle. That's interesting. Intriguing. I will probably do clarifying on this. So, on the timeline, then the Emperor comes into power. So I'm getting this energy of, this could even be students, but I'm getting this energy of somebody watching different things unfold, and somebody came into power saying, I'm going to bring order to the chaos. But this is somebody who means order in my design. I make the rules. Okay, he's gone. Okay. Then we got the Seven of Swords. Perception. Let me get the rest of these cards. Three of Cups. A lot of threes. Power of 3. It almost feels like heads. You know, 3 people, 3 groups of people. The Sun. And, oh, 8 of Cups. Departing. 3 of Cups. 10 of Wands. Oh. 9 of Swords. Oh my gosh. Wow. Talk about energy. Damn. You know, so, as I said, we got this. The next thing that had happened, you know, is we got this, somebody said, we got to bring law and order to this place. Our way. I feel at some point here, there was the organization formed. Okay. But somebody here, you know, there was that student that claimed, made those claims, right? And the Emperor university, head of university. The cooperation. We got to keep the happy face. We got to keep our reputation. Can't be tarnished. You know, kind of, if you look at this, kind of took a stand and protected. What did the emperor protect? Protected a student that really acted immaturely, who acted unethically, right? 2 swords. Look, he's got 2 swords. Well, actually, it's a sheath and a sword, but it almost reminds me of 2 swords. 2 swords. We're going to turn a blind eye to what really happened, right? Somebody was having a good time. There could have been a party situation. Party with overindulgence. Party, right? And the Queen of Wands took on the took on the Emperor. Okay, so there's other things going on here, but the Emperor says we've got to restore law and order here. We're going to take care of things our way. And the Emperor's way was, sweetheart, if you don't like it, go to another town, go to another campus, because we have to continue lying to the people. 7 of Swords. We got to sweep things under the rug. We got to hide information. Because to the outside world, we got to look like we're friendly, a fun college town, a great place for your child to get an education. So, the sun may make everything look rosy, happy, safe. What really needs to happen here to change things is that the sun needs to come out, as in illumination. The light being shined on the Emperor and crew. So, we have a history here. Excuse me. It's almost like somebody wants me to shut up. When I start talking about important topics, that happens. When I start choking on my words. But, this is all about reputation. It's all about the money. You know, they got to keep the money in the town. The college is what keeps that town going. If the college was gone, everybody else would flee. 8 of Cups. But let's take a look at this. So, it is very hard. That's what this is. It's very hard to leave that town once you're there. And there's a lot of torment here with the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords shows up in the Idaho 4 a lot. 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, both show up. This is saying it's really hard to leave Idaho. Without maybe looking over your back, especially if you get into with the wrong people. And I'm also getting that sense of being And so then there's outsiders that get run out of town. I really need to know a little bit more about that Eight of Swords. Or Nine of Swords, rather. Some more about this. Queen of Pentacles. Females. It's like you go there. People want to run. People want to run because they don't feel safe. Ace of Cups. The Empress, and there's the Ten of Swords. As I go through the dark side of the playlist for this is probably going to be the dark side of Moscow, Idaho. But my series is video reactions, right? But what I'm getting here is the women are worried about, or the girls are worried about the scene, the party scene, because I'm willing to bet, as I go through this, there are other unalivings of females that's going to get uncovered with this. I almost want to feel like that there is some cover-ups of other unalivings, of feminine energies that may have been reported as something else, as accidents, right? And what's coming to mind is Cleary. You know, the girl that said that she was bullied, and in February of 2023, February 13th, I think it was. 13th is a very important date, by the way, around Moscow. Another video. We'll see what 13th is all about. But what's coming to mind is what really drove that unaliving, or that self-deletion, as they were calling it. Somebody who lost their sense of value and worth. Why? There is more to it. Oh, I know what it is. It came out later that she was SA'd as well. So there's, I started this off with the intention of that particular female who was assaulted by football players, and maybe not the only female, and maybe not the only player. Could have been separate instances that the Idaho University covers up all the time. But there's something else here. And the and it's encompassing the overall energy of Moscow as well. Is coming out in this reading. But there's something else here that's dark and sinister towards feminines. Okay? Females. Women. And what I'm seeing here is future-wise unalivings or self-deletions or SA is not, there's going to be more instances of it. There's something else that's coming down the pike. Someone, this is future oriented. That there is someone here who wants out, but who is fearful. There's someone else that's afraid right now in Moscow, Idaho. And I've said this in another video. I can't remember which one. That I felt that there was going to be another unaliving. It's right here. Somebody already knows it and fears it. And they want to walk away from everything and forget about everything. But it feels like that it's going to be really difficult for this person to just walk away. And they are very fearful. What are they fearful for? Their life. And that, my folks, I will get a couple true crime cards to see if anything there sticks out. But I'm ready to drop the mic on this one. Big Pharma. Oh, yeah. You know when I was saying turning the other cheek, all the indulgence, we're turning a blind eye, pretending we don't. It's there, but we don't see it. It'd be interesting if the desert card comes up. Down the rabbit hole. Okay, I'm stopping there. Okay. Here we go, folks. As I move through this, the dark side of Idaho. Are you game? Are you going to go down that rabbit hole with me? Let's go down the rabbit hole of the history of the cloud around Moscow, Idaho. Now, I drop the mic.